The last step to isolating many compounds is to remove the solvent the compound is dissolved in. You can boil off your solvent, but that takes a lot of time and energy. You also run the risk of degrading heat-sensitive compounds. The Rotary Evaporator, or Rotavap, is used to remove solvent quickly and with minimal heat. Before using the Rotavap, ensure the bath is filled with distilled water and the connecting piece is clean. The bath can be heated if necessary. Low boiling solvents like diethyl ether, dichloromethane, and hexanes shouldn't require any heating. Heat may be required for higher boiling solvents like ethyl acetate or ethanol. Cold water must be run through the condenser. The outlet should lead to a drain, with the flow rate at a gentle trickle. Your samples should be in a round bottom flask, with a ground glass joint that matches the connecting piece on the instrument. Choose the size of your flask based on the amount of solvent to remove. This flask will work, but a smaller flask could also have been used. This flask is just right. This flask is acceptable, but caution should be used as it poses a risk of bumping. This flask is much too full for a Rotavap. Attach the flask to the connecting piece, and don't let go of it until it is held in place with a plastic clamp. The widest part of the clamp lines up with the thicker glass on the flask. Turn on the power switch and lower the flask into the bath. Even if no heat is applied, the flask should still be lowered into the bath, as the buoyancy helps hold it in place. Submerge the flask in the bath such that the solvent level falls below the water line. Never submerge the top of the flask or connecting piece. Begin spinning the flask, slowly at first. Confirm that no moving pieces are hitting the edge of the bath. The spinning speed can be increased to between 1 and 200 RPM. As solvent leaves the flask, the spinning speed can be increased. Ensure the valve is in the open position and turn on the vacuum. The vacuum will remove air from the chamber, reducing the internal pressure of the system, thereby reducing the boiling point of the solvent. Close the valve to pull full vacuum. Keep a hand on the valve and watch the solvent in the flask. Evaporation will begin, which might result in some bubbling in the flask. If the bubbling gets out of control, solvent might shoot up through the connecting piece and into the chamber. This is called bumping and is undesirable. If the bubbling looks a little too violent, quickly open the valve to increase the internal pressure. The valve can be closed again right away, but keep an eye on the flask and don't walk away. As the solvent evaporates, vapor travels up onto the condenser, which is filled with cold water. The vapor condenses back into liquid and falls into the collection flask. Continue monitoring the flask until nearly all of the solvent is gone. At this point, the spinning speed can be increased to above 200 RPM. Spinning increases the surface area of the solvent and encourages evaporation. Once the solvent is completely gone and no bubbling is observed, follow the setup steps in reverse order. First, release the valve, then turn off the vacuum, stop the spinning, raise the flask from the bath, and remove the flask. If you're the last Rotavap user, you should turn off the instrument, bath, and water. The product likely still contains small amounts of solvent, so further drying may be required in an oven or high vacuum system. If you're having trouble removing a solvent, a pressure temperature nomograph can be used to estimate its boiling point at a given pressure. Often a bump trap is attached to a Rotavap. If your solution bumps, it's caught in the trap and can be easily recovered. Alternative condensers may also be used. This one will hold a dry ice acetone slurry, which is much colder than water. Make sure you always follow the Rotavap setup steps in order. First, attach your flask with the clamp, lower the flask into the bath, spin the flask, turn the vacuum on, and close the valve. Follow these steps in reverse order to remove your flask.